So, so I'm Ann Bockley Pfeiffer. I'm a mediator and mediation trainer.
And I'm Bob Wright, also a mediator, arbitrator, and mediation trainer, and took my first ever training from Ann Bockley Pfeiffer.
And in spite of that, Bob is an excellent mediator. And so we have both both noticed in the mediation trainings that we have done that there are two vital skills that people don't get enough time to practice in the basic 40-hour training: deep listening, reflective listening, and asking good, open questions. And so we thought it would be beneficial at the end of a long day to just spend some time working on those two vital skills. And the session this morning on transformative talked about a whole different kind of question than what we're going to be talking about here. But these skills are essential to facilitative mediation. So, Bob, do you want to tell them about the handouts?
Sure. Um, Before I do that, though, I'm going to borrow a quote from Monty Python. And now for something completely different. We hope to entertain as well as educate. Ann and I both agreed that the only way that we would do this is if we could have fun while doing it. So that's our goal. The handouts are pretty basic. There are only two. The one is more of a resource takeaway, and that's the advanced listening for mediators document. That has a lot of information about different skills, about the rationale that we approach mediation with, and the listening that we do in mediation. The other one is a script, and we'll be using that later in the afternoon. And you'll want to have a copy of that. And I'm not sure that I can paste into a chat a link. I mean, it's there in the materials. If you can actually get to the materials, that would be ideal.
And Bob, that script will also be available in their breakouts, right? We're going to
Yes.
share the screen. Yeah. So
If
there's
the
several different ways they can access the script.
if the tech gods are with us, it will be.
Yeah, that.
Let me see.
Okay.
Just
Aaron said
trying to.
it's linked on the website,
Oh,
and
and there.
Vibe just
Thank
put a
you,
link to
Kyle.
it.
Put the link right there
Great.
in the chat. So,
Yeah.
either we suggest that you either print it or at least have it available so that you can have it open. Because what's another different thing that we're doing today is, instead of having a role play where you actually have to go into it and actually
Make it up.
make it up as you go along, this is going to be totally scripted. The idea is just for you to see the format, practice the format by using the script, and also then reflect on it afterwards on your experience of this sort of different way of doing things. So I have a fire engine that's going by my office right now, of course. So I just want to,
We can't
okay,
hear it.
good, good. So I'm going to use a little PowerPoint demo. Hopefully that you'll be able to see that.
Yep. It's
Okay,
good.
good, good. Nonviolent communication is a technique developed by, or written about by, Marshall Rosenberg, the late Marshall Rosenberg. It's also known as compassionate communication, and it has four components. It's very a simple model to follow. The first one is observation, and the second is feelings. The third is needs, and the fourth is requests. So it's observations, feelings, needs, and requests. And I'll go into a little very brief description of those four components. Under observation, we're only observing concrete things and actions. You may think of the old, if you're old enough to remember Dragnet, the detective Joe Friday, who would say, "Just the facts, ma'am." Think like a video camera or a robot. What can you see? What can you hear? What can you feel? But without any judgment or evaluation. So, for instance, I can observe that it's raining. If I say, "Oh, it's a rotten day, it's raining," then I've made a judgment about it, right? So that's the idea. And it's just pure sensing. Don't add your judgment to the observation. So that's observation. Think video camera. Feelings, we all know about feelings. At the end of the document that you don't need to pull up right now, the resource document, we have a feelings wheel. In fact, let me see if I can. Okay. I'm not going to worry about the feelings wheel. But it describes an emotional state and physical sensation. It's a feeling, not a thought. Okay. So if you have a statement that begins with, "I feel that," the word that gets stuck in there tells you it's a thought, not a true feeling. "I am sad" would be like a true feeling. Needs. The whole idea of talking about needs are that there are those that sustain and enrich, which are pretty universal. Also, at the end of that document that we have for the active listening and advanced listening skills is a pyramid, the Maslow pyramid that you may have seen on needs. The basic needs down at the bottom of the pyramid are like food, water, light, air. As you go up, it becomes more ethereal, and finally you get up to like the spiritual needs up at the top. Unfortunately, in mediation, we often don't see any sustaining and enriching needs being mentioned early on. We get more needs that are not being met. And those are the uncomfortable feelings, the bad, sad, frustrated, etc. Feelings come from the unmet needs, right? So if your needs are being met, good feelings, happy, cheerful, well rested. And if they're not being met, angry, upset, distraught. Finally, we get to the requests. When we make an NVC request, it needs to be clear, present, and positive. And the thing that came to my mind was from all of the trainings in mediation I've ever attended, when we talk about writing up an agreement, we want it to be clear, present, and hopefully positive as to what's going to be done by the parties to fulfill their settlement agreement. It's a little different than a demand. It is a request because you're willing to allow the other person to do something else or suggest something else as a replacement for your request. Again, concrete, observable action, deliverable now. And that's where the settlements come in. It inspires cooperation and creativity when you can get people into that mode of doing requests rather than demands. So here's the format for an NVC conversation. When I see bright sunshine, I feel happy because my need for light is being met. Would you be willing to open the curtains? And the response could be, well, I don't want to open the curtains because I'm light sensitive, but maybe you could switch places with me so you can get more light. And that's the way that an NVC negotiation could go. So as a mediator, when we're listening to parties in mediation, we listen and objectively restate their situation, also known as a reframe, right? That's something we learned in Mediator School 101. We reflect their feelings in our statement back to them. we guess at their underlying needs because we can't really know what their underlying needs are, but we can guess. And then we can request a positive action step or ask to have a deeper conversation with them. So in modeling NVC behavior, we state the situation objectively, like neither side is willing to make the first offer. Ever see that in a mediation? State your feelings. As a mediator, I'm feeling a bit frustrated because I want to provide value to you. So there's my need. Would you be willing to explore some reasons it may make sense for you to make an offer to kickstart the process? They can say no. They can whatever they say is okay. I'll work with it and try and keep recycling through using these techniques. Okay, so you're not interested in making that offer or listening, having a discussion about reasons to do that right now. And that's the end of that. So we'll stop the share. If I could get the, I can't get the little pointer. Sorry, guys. There, finally got it. That's NVC in a nutshell. Obviously, we can't compress a 4-day training on nonviolent communication into 50 minutes or 45 minutes that we have here today. But that's where the script comes in. And you want to talk about the instructions while I create some breakout rooms.
Yep. So we're going to have you do a role play based on the burning sailboat, which is familiar to some of you because that was part of your basic training, and our ongoing gratitude for Judge Nanette Lowry for writing that role play. So we're going to be using that, and we are going to put you into breakouts where you're going to be in groups of 3. And when you get into your group, we are going to recommend that the person whose first name is closest to A is the mediator. So you can use the names that are on your screens, but get to know one another, introduce yourselves to one another. So first name closest to A is the mediator. First name closest to Z will play Leslie. And the other person will play Sam. So those are the 3 characters, and hopefully everybody's going to be in a group of 3. If you're in a group of 4, you could have somebody be the observer, or you could have, you could have somebody be the observer. So when you get into your groups, you'll quickly figure out who's going to play which role, right? And then you're going to have the script, and you're just going to read through the script, each character as their name comes up.
Out loud.
Note the Bob?
Read out loud. I'm sorry.
Read it out loud. Yes, right. Thank you. And note the feelings words in red on the script, and the needs are identified in green print on the script. So you can notice those as you are going through. It'll take you about 3 minutes to read through the script. So just follow it through. And then we're going to give you some questions to use as your debrief. So when you finish the script, you're going to stay in your breakout, and we will give you the questions via screen share.
Now, if I could just interject in, we understand that a lot of people don't like role plays, right? And even though all this is really is reading a script, you don't have to actually do any independent thinking until you get around to the feedback. We're going to give you the opportunity to opt out. But see, anybody that stays in the room here really needs to participate. You can't just hide, turn your camera off, and turn your microphone off and cower in the corner. All right. You got to actually play this game. So you can leave right now and you can come back in 10 minutes because that's all we've allotted for this exercise anyway. So if you don't want to participate in a breakout room, just leave. But then we need to know how many people we have, because then we could divide that by 3 to get the number of rooms to create, and then we'll press the auto populate button, and that will put everybody randomly in a room, more information than you probably need, but that's the plan. So leave if you don't want to participate in this. And then we'll see how many people we have left. That's 47 people left. So I think that's 19 rooms. We may have to do a little rearrange.
Okay, these are the ones that are all in, Bob. They've signified they didn't vote with their feet. They're all
right.
in.
Where
Okay.
am I finding the script? Am I supposed to see a script somewhere?
You will soon. As soon as Ann stops sharing, I'll share my window with the
Okay.
script.
Well, they go into
And
breakouts
Bob,
first, right? And then we get them the script.
Right.
Yep.
do you need my assistance with the breakout rooms, Bob?
Sure, if you would, Kyle, then I'll work on getting the script posted. We need, with
They need to be
47,
groups
15
of 3,
rooms.
Kyle. It's
Yeah.
3 in each room.
so I think it's
Okay.
19, a total of 19 rooms.
Well, we're down to 45, so that'd be
Oh.
15 rooms.
15,
But then
yep.
And then
I'm
take
gonna
us
do
out.
14. Yeah, because we have to exclude
Take us
ourselves.
out. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
A lot of people are still,
Yeah, the rooms just opened up.
okay. Well, a lot of these rooms have 4 in them.
So I'm gonna remove Marianne from one and then put Gregory into that room.
Room 9 had 2 and I was one of them, so we need 2 people in room 9.
I just moved somebody there.
Okay. And can they see the script?
Oh,
Room 2 has 4 people in it.
I got to work on that script, screen share thing.
So you just have to check that little box when you screen share.
Right.
It says screen share to breakout rooms.
Boom.
So Pat Gelderloos, Paula Manderfield. Yeah, we need you to join. Dennis Barnes, we need you to accept your invitation.
I accidentally exited. How do I get back in?
Oh,
Well, you are back in.
well,
Okay,
he's in the main room. He
Yep.
needs to be back in a
I just
So
need to
room
assign you.
yeah, room 12 needs another person.
I was in 5.
Okay. Um,
I think we need another room.
So Donna and Ed, are you with us? Would you like to join? Um, Ben, do you not have nice to see you, by the way. Do you not have an invitation to join?
I did, and I was in, and I thought I was clearing some junk off the thing, and it booted me out.
Huh. Okay. I don't know how to put you back in.
Yeah, because he was in room 5.
I was in 5.
Right.
It says move
Right.
to it.
And it
I
says
can
not
put him
joined.
back in.
Okay.
Can you put me in room 4 so I can apologize to my team? I had a mini
Okay.
crisis turn up.
All right. Ben, I'm gonna have to move you out of 5 and then I'll move you back into it.
Okay,
Yeah,
And
room
Pat, you want to
three.
go into 4?
I think that's where I was supposed to be.
Room 8
It
needs
says you
another,
were room 2.
Okay,
I can put you back into 2 though.
No,
Perfect.
she
Have to move
shouldn't,
you.
no, because two already has 3 people. How
Okay.
about
I
put her
can
in room
just
3?
skip it. I
No,
honestly,
put her in room 3 because
Okay.
Chandrika, yeah, because Marianne Parks isn't going to be part of that. So put her in room 3.
okay, I'm
Okay.
not sure I actually know what to do.
all
Well,
you have to
there's a
do is
script
read
that
the
you're supposed
script
to be
when you get into
Okay.
the room.
Okay, thanks.
So room 4, I don't know what's going on in there. There's 2 other people that didn't join.
Well, this would be that tech problem that we said we might
So I
encounter.
can move Paula and Heather to room 4.
Okay, or move Lee to room 7.
Lee Kramer.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know how they're doing that when they don't have the right number of people. I didn't keep track of
The
the
time.
time. Yeah. Huh, this turned out to be harder than we thought it was going to be, huh?
Well, we can go a little bit later for this. There aren't any sessions preceding or following
Yeah, but people
aside
have
from the closing remarks.
their heart set on getting out.
Oh,
So they can see what's going on in the breakout rooms.
And I'm in room 8, but I mean, I've been
Well-
assigned to room 8, but I'm not in it.
yeah. Don't leave because then it might mess up the
Exactly.
breakout.
I know.
So I'm
that's-
going to go in from one of my other accounts and just make sure everybody can see.
Okay.
So Bob, should we visit
Yes,
some
we
of the
can see.
breakout rooms and see how they're
I
doing?
can't leave. Yeah, if you
Oh.
want to, go ahead. But I can't leave because then they can't see my script.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So they can see it in the breakout rooms. I was just there.
Okay, good. But a couple of the rooms. Oh, yeah, that didn't work. All right.
Kyle?
Yes.
Yeah, it's been working for me. It's other people who are calling me and contacting me. But
Okay.
are you talking about from the agenda?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't try from the,
there was a refresh issue that if they just refreshed, then it's working for them now.
oh boy, yeah, okay.
But I
Well,
got a lot of emails, like right when the session was beginning, and I sent everybody the proper link, so they
Okay.
were all able to hop on. There was just one last person just now.
no, I got a whole bunch of people who,
Oh,
so I don't
really?
know what happened, but be prepared.
Okay.
I don't know what happened, but I'm getting a lot of emails.
Bob,
Yeah.
can you give the discussion question out now? They're
Yes.
through the script. They're through the script.
Okay. And I thought you had the
The discussion questions?
yeah,
Mm-mm. The debrief, no,
the debriefed instructions. Shoot.
I don't think so. No, I don't. Do you want me to just make something up?
Sure.
Or let's see, what can we just,
I've got the,
I don't know how to, what's the best way to do this?
I'll share my screen.
Okay, do you have it?
Yeah, I'm opening it right now.
Okay, great.
Sorry.
You know, people are coming back.
And we never got the question.
I know, that was another technological glitch. Sorry about that. We're working on it.
That's okay. We created our own.
Good.
Oh, good. Okay.
And then we
Um,
left the room because we weren't sure if we were supposed to stay there and wait to be bumped back. And we decided
Understand,
better just come
understand.
back on our
Yep,
own.
yep.
Thank you. It was fun. It was good.
Oh, good. Okay.
Well, let's just bring them back
Um,
and have a big old debrief.
That sounds good, Bob. Let's just do that.
Okay, closing all rooms.
Yep. Do you want to lead this, Bob?
Yeah.
Just a couple minutes and then we'll move on.
Yep.
Mhm.
Well, that was a disaster for us.
Oh, yeah. We apologize to everyone. We did not anticipate these technological problems.
Right.
We don't need to go into it. It was just,
Yeah. That's a great concept. Didn't work. Thanks
Yep.
for your patience.
Worked
Yeah,
perfectly. What are you
So-
talking
Oh,
about?
good. I'm glad some of you had a good experience.
so
Yeah,
just
worked in
briefly,
our room.
briefly,
ours
we
worked.
want to know how you felt about as mediators, for those who served as a mediator, how did you feel about mirroring the party's openings?
I thought it was hard to direct one person to acknowledge another person.
Uh-huh.
That giving that direction to people really, that's scary to me.
Let
I
me tell you
thought I didn't think it was good that the mediator assigned a couple feelings like disillusioned, I think might have been one of them. And I really don't think that was good. I think it might have been better to say, how does that make you feel? You know, so instead of coming up with the words.
or you
I
can
like the
preface it
idea
with,
that
I'm guessing.
feeding the phrase rather than just saying, how do you feel about this? Are you frustrated? Why are you frustrated? And let both of them use their own words to explain why this is so troublesome.
That was
Yes.
the feedback from the group I was in. There was a feeling of being uncomfortable that I was assigning the words and then telling somebody else what the words were to say.
Yeah. Well, part of this, I only use this in divorce cases, and it's not something I use when I'm saying hello to them. It's something that I introduce as we go along. We talk about it first. It's a choice. Do they want to try this style of communication? And I think that's about all I really want to say about it, unless the parties who were playing, either Les or Sam, if you have any comments about how it felt. Okay, Shell.
So as Les, when I was asked to acknowledge Sam's feelings, I did it. That was the script. But inside, I was thinking to myself, I'd never say this. I don't acknowledge that. He's holding out on the money.
Okay, Lisa, you had your hand up.
Lisa,
You're
You're
muted.
If I just I don't have to click mute, I just have to go over it and mute it. But anyway, yeah, I was Les also, and I think it was because the mediator assigned the feelings
I didn't necessarily hear the feelings. I didn't hear the other party say those feelings. And so then when the mediator assigned the feelings and then told me to say back, I just was like very frustrated, like, okay, fine, I'll mirror back, blah, 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 blah. But it wasn't genuine. That
Yeah.
was part of the problem.
Okay.
Bob Chandrika put into chat that this was like couples therapy.
Yep. It's an interesting take on it. And as I was taking the training for this style of mediation, initially I had a reaction to it that this doesn't feel comfortable, but the more I did it and the more I worked with people, the more comfortable I got with it. And I saw the benefit of it. And like you, I would rather guess at their needs and try and pull their needs out of them, rather than suggest this is what your need is that's not being met. But because of the technical glitch, we've run a little over, so I'm going to turn it over to Anne to talk about open-ended questions.
Okay, so another tool that mediators can use are open-ended questions. And there's a lot about this in the handout that we gave you, but just to refresh your memory, an open-ended question can't be answered by yes or no or one word, right? And especially early on in mediation, open-ended questions can be very helpful because they can get a lot of information that you don't even know to ask for. So for example, in this case, you might say to Leslie, do you want to repair the boat? And Leslie will give you a one-word answer, yes. But what if you asked Leslie, what are your plans for the boat? Leslie might tell you, I don't have any plans to keep the boat. My plan is to repair the boat so I can sell it because I can't afford to keep this boat anymore. I need the cash more than I need the boat. And so with that open-ended question, you get a whole bunch more information that could lead to underlying needs and interests that are going to help you unlock the resolution. Or for example, you could ask Sam, well, the other point is that open-ended questions can maintain neutrality. And so you could ask Sam, you really don't have any idea what caused the fire? And especially if you ask that in joint session, that's going to come across as non-neutral. But if you ask Sam, what caused the fire? What do you think caused the fire? Now you've asked an open-ended question that maintains your neutrality in the joint session. And so we're going to do a little exercise just to think about, practice doing open-ended questions. So in this exercise, there are some different topics that you as mediator might want to probe now that you've got the parties' openings. For example, Les is asking for $10,000, but you know that the jurisdictional limit for small claims court is $6,500. So how does that make sense? Does Les even know this? And if it does, how does that make sense to Les? So that's one topic of inquiry. Another one might be that you feel that Sam is responsible for some extent to the fire. It happened on Sam's property. So that's something that you would want to probe. And then does Les have insurance? If not, why not? What was Les thinking about that? Isn't that on Les because Les didn't bother to get insurance? So those are areas to probe, but we're going to do an exercise for how we could use open-ended questions to deal with these. So let's say the first one. So no, let me go back here. Yeah, okay. Mediator wants to say to Leslie, small claims jurisdictional limit is 6,500, but you're asking for 10,000. But of course, the mediator knows that the mediator can't say that. And on top of that, it might sound like unauthorized practice of law, right? Because you're giving legal information or maybe legal advice. So how can you ask this as an open-ended question? So I'll give you a chance to put this in the chat, but you can jot down your answer first. How could you address this topic and frame it as an open-ended question. You can go ahead and put it in the chat if you have any thoughts about this. How did you come up with that amount? Why did you choose? I assume that means small claims. Yep. Okay. Good. These are good. Yep. Jurisdictional limitations, if any. Yep. What do you know about jurisdictional limits? Yeah, these are good. Good. Okay. I'm gonna, just in interest of time, I'm gonna move us on. Here's what I came up with, but you came up with some great ones. So I have a couple. What's your understanding of the relief you could get if this goes before the judge? And if this goes to court, what's the best you could get as far as you know? And then follow that up, what are you basing your information on? So good. So you're getting the hang of this. All right, here's another one. This one would be to Sam. What you want to say is, Sam, I think you know what caused the fire, but you're not telling. But of course the mediator can't say that, right? So how could you ask an open-ended question to Sam about the cause of the fire? So go ahead and put that in chat. And take a sec to Sam, do you know what caused the fire? Yes. Help me understand. Oh, okay. Yep. What do you believe caused the fire? What's known about it? Excellent. Yep. You guys are on the same track as I am. Yeah, these are good.
Wouldn't it be wonderful to have all these folks around so that we could just have them feed us the questions in the
As
mediation?
co-mediators, as invisible co-mediators. Yeah, absolutely. Good.
We are your
Okay.
AI.
Yes. Physical
Yeah.
AI.
Right. Okay, so good job, everybody. You get the hang of the asking the open-ended questions. And I think one of the points is your instincts about what to follow up on are right on, but then you just need to convert it into an open question, an open-ended question that will maintain your neutrality. So one more that we wanted to demonstrate, and for this one, we're going to use the help of Lisa Taylor. And again, this one is scripted, but it just gives you the idea. So another hot topic here is, yeah, you can tell I've been hanging around Shell Stark too much, right? Les's apparent lack of insurance. And so we will demonstrate for you how you might be able to explore this in joint session. You can use the open-ended questions in caucus, but they are especially helpful in joint session. And sometimes people avoid that because they don't know how to ask questions that are going to keep things neutral. And so that's where these open-ended questions can be really helpful. So Bob is going to play Sam and Lisa is going to play Leslie, and I'll be the mediator. So Leslie, you didn't purchase your own insurance because you thought Sam's would cover you. Is that right?
Yes.
So what made you think that Sam's insurance would cover your boat?
I just assumed it. It's property insurance. It should cover everything on his property, right?
Okay. So Sam, what information can you share regarding insurance?
Actually, I just assumed it too, but there wasn't enough insurance to cover all my stuff plus the boat.
Okay. Okay. And so you lost stuff too, is that right?
Yeah, plus all the damage to the garage.
Yep. Okay. All right. So now you've explored that with both of them, and you could follow up with something like, so you both made an assumption about the insurance that turned out to be incorrect, and you've both suffered losses, and then you could follow up with that in caucus. So, okay, good. So now what we'd like to do is send you back into your breakouts. Actually, it'll be a different breakout. And we're just going to ask you to answer this question. Let me get back here. Yeah, so in the breakout, how can you use in your mediations what you've learned today? The nonviolent communication of reframing and listening for those needs and interests and emotions, and also asking for open-ended questions. So
Kyle,
that's what
could
you're
you
going to
create the rooms?
Yep. So that's what you're going to discuss in your breakouts. How can you use in your mediations what you've learned here today? And I'm going to stop the share, and Kyle is going to put you into breakouts. Kyle, they don't have to be, it can be 3 or 4 in each breakout.
Okay. Opening the rooms now.
And if you get an invitation, please accept it. Wow. They all went, Anne.
Sometimes you just have to say, please.
Yeah.
I didn't get an invite.
Oops. Can you take care of Shanique, Kyle?
Yes.
Shell Larkey says the computer I'm on doesn't allow me to participate because I can't talk. Okay. All right, Shell, we will send you into a breakout then. You can just decline your invitation, Shell. That's funny. What time is this supposed to end? At 5:20?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
But I
that's
think
perfect.
because of our technical glitch, we ought to be able to go to 5:25.
Well, I don't know if they want to talk that long,
Oh, okay. And then Ed needs to do
right?
the closing.
Yeah, and he had said, you probably didn't hear this, Bob, before you got on. Ed said that it was going to be very brief what
Okay.
what he was
And
going to do for closing.
then we ought to
But
be
I think
fine.
people will be happy with that, I think, right? So this didn't end up taking as much as we thought it was going to. And and there was some pushback on the reframing, which we thought there might be.
Well, yeah, the whole idea was to give them something that was totally avant-garde.
Right. So they can, yeah, they could just internalize that.
And it's
Doesn't have
something
a
you could
camera
try
either.
and use in your personal life. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So how long do we want to let this go?
well, I'm looking at the microphones and it's like there's somebody talking in all the rooms.
Okay, good. Where is that? Oh, there it is. Okay.
I would say let's
Yeah.
let them go for a couple more minutes anyway. What was the question that they're working on?
How can you use this in your mediations? How can you use what you've learned today in your mediations?
I'm interested to hear any thoughts that come out of this.
So apparently Lee Kramer
the
is in a
chat?
room all by himself.
Aw,
I know. Barb Johannesson is with Larry Saylor. So you know what,
and
we
I
should
were in room
probably,
8.
a lot of these people, yeah, Alan and Eric, there's two rooms that only have one person in them, and three rooms that only have 2 people in them. So I think we should we tell them we'll end in 1 minute?
Sure.
Okay.
Are you going to broadcast, or did you want me to?
Oh, please, Kyle, you could do it.
Yeah, if you want to, that's fine.
Closing breakout rooms in 1 minute.
So Bob, what are we gonna do when we bring him back? Just thank him or ask for any pearls?
Yes, pearls. Maybe in the chat.
Okay.
I mean, both chat and verbal.
And then Kyle, you're gonna bring in, it's gonna transfer right over to Ed Pappas.
Yes.
Okay.
So are you ready to close the breakout rooms?
Yeah, well, you gave him what, like a 1-minute warning or something?
Yeah.
Okay. What,
Just let them
however,
know.
however much time you told them.
Okay, I'm gonna initiate the close. It'll give them another 10-second warning too.
Okay. Yeah, right. That's fine. Two seconds, 1 second. Okay. Any pearls that anyone wants to share? You could unmute yourself or you could put it in the chat if there's anything that you want to mention in summary as we wrap up our session here.
I'll share a pearl from Jerome since he won't share his own pearl.
Thanks, Peggy.
He said he would write in big block letters under where he puts the client's names and everything to keep track of, to remember to ask open-ended questions. So he would remember to ask them. And then my question, it's not a pearl of wisdom, it's a question. I wonder how well the reflecting back emotions works in business disputes.
It works very well because that's one area where I use it. In business disputes, there's usually somebody that's upset about the loss of trust, and it's easy to reflect that. You're having a hard time trusting anything that comes out of their mouth. That's caucus talk. But
Good. Any
There's
other
just as
pearls
many-
before we?
Good point.
There's just as many expectations that are assumptions and expectations that are not met in business, employment, whatever disputes. I use this everywhere. Not quite as the script shows, but I like to think, yeah, I use this everywhere.
Yep. I hear you. I do too. Chandrika says allowing them to get their feelings out prior to getting to the substantive stuff is my takeaway. Yeah, absolutely. You know, that whole thing about they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? So being able to reflect back some of those feelings. Mike, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I think that open-ended questions are great for a lot of reasons, but it's an opportunity for somebody who wants to vent, if you will, to go ahead and talk about anything. So you might get an answer to the question you asked, but you might also get an answer to all sorts of questions that this individual wants to answer.
Yep. Good point. I mean, everything has its pros and cons, right? There's a risk to everything that we can do, but yeah, great observations, everybody. Well, we are past time, but thank you very much for listening to our presentation on nonviolent communication, deep listening, and open-ended questions. Thank you.
Great topic,
you.
folks.
Good job, you
Thank
guys.
you very
So
much.
before
Thank
everybody gets off, I just want to make a couple
Yeah.
comments. First, I thought that was very helpful, Bob and Ann. I think that one thing that I've learned is to reframe is an art, and it takes a lot of practice with a lot of you learn by mistakes you make as you reframe, and it is an art that needs to be worked on before you just automatically do it, and you have to think about it. So anyways, I thought this was very helpful.
Ed, could I just interject that
Yes.
it's helpful to practice that at home, but make sure you get permission from your significant other or housemate before you try it.
That's a very
Otherwise-
good point.
Otherwise, they will say something like my wife said when I was trying it. Okay, mediator boy,
Yeah, that's a very good point. Anyways, I think we've had great speakers all day today. I think everybody did a great job. I just want to remind everybody, tomorrow morning, we begin with our ADR section annual meeting at 8:30, and the programming starts at 9. I encourage as many of you who can to attend the annual meeting. We're going to be voting on new council members and officers and talking about some things at the annual meeting. And a reminder, there'll be 2 separate tracks for the programs tomorrow. But you may have to return, if you're going to different meetings, return to the homepage to do that. But with that, have a great evening, everyone, and hopefully we'll see everyone tomorrow morning.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Ed.
Be safe.
Thank you, guys.